league office. Like you have new directors, you have new kind of production people, and maybe haven't been in the sport as long, and so understanding sort of what those key moments are, coming back to those, getting all those in is still a work in progress. It's their learning the game too and recognizing those scenarios, and I've seen that in other games, not just our games. Just there's a play or an instance that maybe you want to see again, and they haven't picked up on it yet sometimes, and so again, it's all part of a new deal and new directors and things like that. So it'll continue to get to where I think some of us would like it to get to, but it's just a work in progress. Yeah. So we have video analyst who is videoing the games that gives us the specific views that we want. VAR obviously has many different views that they have, so you can also ask from the league to get some different looks at angles and reviews and stuff like that. So there's ways you can get it. It's just not always live or in the broadcast that you see the different things that you want to see. Yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, we challenge it on the sideline with the fourth official. We usually get some feedback as to how they're looking at it. For me, there's just a real catch this year in terms of like the threshold of clear and obvious, because that's subjective in and of itself, right? So I think subjective can be handball. However, I argue that if your arm is far enough away from your body that it hits here and goes away or goes through there, that's not no longer in the silhouette. I mean, that can be objective. That doesn't have to be subjective, right? So it would be nice, but again, all of these instances in theory are being looked at behind the scenes. They don't necessarily disrupt the game in the process, but it comes down to, again, the subjectivity of those who are viewing either VAR or on the field as to whether they believe that was a foul or whether they believe that was a handball, and that's still sometimes a subjective and debatable thing, right? If we can make it more objective, like offsides, you're either offsides or you're onside. It's black and white, and some of these others are not as black and white, though for some of us they're more clear and obvious than for others. That's the nature of the beast. So even if we bring them to the attention, there's always it's subjective, right? You may think, but we don't think, and so it's a no-win discussion, but it just becomes a debate, right? Which is all that is. So, anyways, those are in the past and we're in the present. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, by the time he got onto the game, he wasn't on the field but a few minutes. We give up a penalty. We're down a man, and it becomes more about him getting 35 minutes of just soccer fitness, and it becomes less about how he can overall impact the game, because it's a really difficult circumstance at that point. So I like what I've seen from him in training, both as a leader, as a player, look, at the end of the day, he is our alpha player in our team. And when we miss him, we don't just miss him on the field, we miss his personality in the group. And so it's really nice to have him back. It's brought another level of just, I don't know if you want to say personality inside of our group, but there's Javi, no matter what we're doing, if it's a warm-up and the fitness coaches are putting out a little game at the beginning, he's analyzing and figuring out how to win that game, and he's competing at that, and then he gets everybody on his team in that game competing at that, and it's contagious. So having him back, I think, in the training environment and the batch environment just changes. It helps to change just the overall. Has a great impact on our group, and that's what you want out of your leader, your captain, and obviously the guy who's put away 18 plus goals in the last 2 seasons, and so it's certainly helpful. I think for us, he's been sharp on the training field. The game for me, was just at that point was a matter of him just getting fitness and getting inside the group and being on the field. In terms of them, obviously they're running a nice confident wave of coming off the end of last season, which gives every team confidence, and then they've hit the ground running in terms of the start of this season, in terms of getting results, both the Champions League. They're getting a lot of games under their belt. They've got a solid rotation. They're healthy, which is key. Again, swagger, confidence, and riding a guy or two who are just having lights out beginnings of seasons can really help. It helps everybody. It's not just him. It helps everybody, because I've seen these guys hitting a shot from the end line, and it finds a way to hit off of one of their players and goes in the goal. So but also some really good goals, right, and some really good plays. So they're riding a nice wave of confidence and belief, and so be it. It's a long season. Our job is to focus on us, and in terms of us, again, for us, a little frustration. You know, it came out, I think, in the game where you get a penalty call and you think, okay, we got a break, we have a chance to go ahead. Then they actually take that away from us, and that stirs some emotion again inside of our group. We give away a deflection goal off of a set piece, which again is, you know, not the way. If you're going to give up a goal, you'd like to give it up away. The other team makes a really good play and move on. Just little things that I think got frustrating inside of the group. The 6 minutes of extra time at 3-0 and a man down seemed like an excessive amount of stoppage time. But nevertheless, that inside of that game just created, I think, some unique frustration. For us, the group is, you know, they're confident. They want to win. They want to win a game, and so there's that, you know, that desire and I think natural stress that you would have to want to come out and perform and win. And I know a game like this is a big opportunity to turn a season around in one day and one game too. And so and these games a lot of times come down to just out-competing the opposition, winning your duels, finishing your opportunities when you get them. Obviously, we've got to manage them, and they have some difference makers who can, with one play, you know, can change the course of a game instantly. And so we need to manage the situation. Our guys can do the same. We haven't been as efficient in that way as they certainly have been, and we need to be more efficient in that capacity. But just making sure that we work together as a group, and we move the ball quickly. We understand how we want to play them. We understand what we think can be, where our solutions can be inside of the games, and the things that we have to be aware of. And so, you know, our guys are clear about how they want to approach the game and how we want to approach the game, and now it's just execution.